We are currently spending the summer in California's Sierra Nevada mountains. We've experienced the region's ancient trees, Western film history, 3 gorgeous national parks, and backpacked to what is said to be one of the most jaw-dropping lakes in the entire state. And for the next leg of our adventure, we're exploring the Mono County region of the Eastern Sierra, an area loaded with insane natural beauty plus tons of things to see and do. Here you can find a mix of hot springs, rugged mountains, tons of alpine lakes, amazing spots to fish, geothermal features, unique formations, and historic sites, all within a short drive, making it unlike anywhere else in California. And our goal over the next 4 days is to experience as much of the area's epic nature and local eats as we can. And to kick things off, we're going for a sunrise hot spring soak.
This area is home to tons of different hot springs, and this morning we're at Wild Willy's Hot Spring. This is one of the most popular and can get very busy, but it has multiple pools, so we're here bright and early to hopefully, maybe, have some solitude. It's 35 degrees out. Oh, this is gonna feel nice. It's hot.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Since it's so cold out, it's kind of burning my skin right now, but once my body gets used to this, this is gonna be amazing. I cannot think of a better or more magical way to start the day. We have been to a handful of spectacular hot springs. We've soaked along the river in Idaho, in the forest in Canada, and in the mountains of Utah. But this spot, with the Sierra Nevada mountains as the backdrop, at sunrise especially, I don't think you can beat this.
I will say though, nudity is common, and let's just say they don't call it Wild Willy's for nothing, folks. Besides hot springs you can soak in, this area also has some extra hot springs you can view from afar at the Hot Creek Geologic site. And the reason this area has so much geothermal activity is because we're in the 760,000-year-old Long Valley Caldera, which is one of the Earth's largest calderas at 20 miles long, 11 miles wide, and up to 3,000 feet deep. And about 3 miles below us there is hot magma.
There's an under 2-mile trail you can walk to see the creek and the hot springs across the way, but you cannot swim or soak here. The water in the creek can be very inconsistent and get extremely hot, with changes of 200 degrees Fahrenheit within seconds being recorded in the past.
Even though we can't swim here, fish can, and this is said to be one of the best fly fishing spots for trout in all of California. I just saw a guy down there catch 2 fish in about 2 minutes. Hopefully I have the same luck. right, fish, I'm coming for you. I've got some tasty flies. Come on. Look at my wall hanger. Always gets your heart racing anytime you feel a tug on it, and then you pull up grass or weeds or whatever. Got one. Woohoo! Ooh, that's a good looking one. Not skunk today. Hey. Oh! Yeah. Ah, oh, dang it. Woo, another one. Yes. Come on, big guy. Best one yet. Yes. That was the best one yet. Oh man, three fish today.
Got away. So
And,
4, really.
yeah, that one was awesome. That's a good one to end on.
Before we head to our next stop, we popped into Mammoth Lakes, a popular ski town in the winter that turns into a hiker's paradise in the summer. And we just grabbed a little pick-me-up at Black Velvet Coffee Roaster because if you didn't pick up on it, we got up very, very early this morning. And we're basically getting up very, very early every single day because we just have to maximize every single second of the glorious, glorious summer in the Eastern Sierra.
And we got an horchata latte and a toasted coconut latte. Oh man, sweet and cinnamony.
Ooh, that coconut one. That tastes like summertime. Think of like coconuts on the beach. That one's really good too.
Oh, this one just has so much coconut.
Ooh.
One thing we are loving about this area are all the lakes, and we just made it to Convict Lake, which is a gorgeous lake really close to Highway 395. It has these towering mountain peaks right behind it and crystal clear blue water. We can't think of a better spot to take out the kayak.
So you may be wondering, why is this lake called Convict Lake? Is it full of convicts? And the answer is, it was! Back in 1871, a group of convicts that had escaped from Carson City, Nevada were trapped here at the lake. A shootout ensued and 2 locals, Robert Morrison and Mono Jim, were killed. Although the convicts were eventually captured, because of this event, they decided to name the 2 peaks behind the lake after Morrison and Mono Jim, and then name the lake Convict Lake. It's so choppy! Oh my gosh! we are back by Hot Creek Geologic site for the night, and we snagged this epic free campsite overlooking the hot springs and the mountains, and with the river just running straight towards the mountains and all the different shadows on the mountains right now and the different colors of the terrain. It truly just looks like a painting out here. And after a pretty cloudy afternoon, the sun is finally popping back out again just in time for sunset.
There are countless hikes you can do in this area. It seems like we're adding 1 or 2 to our 2 hike list daily. And today we're heading into the mountains to hike the Little Lakes Valley Trail. And we are super excited about this trail because I think it takes us by 7 or 8 lakes.
This is quite possibly the most gorgeous valley that we have ever hiked through. We just passed lake number 3, and every lake keeps getting better and better as we get closer to the mountains. And one thing that's so interesting about the scenery out here in the Eastern Sierra is that when you're at the base of the mountains, kind of like we were yesterday, it's so dry and it's kind of more of a high desert climate. But as soon as you get into the mountains, it just bursts with vibrance and lushness. You have so many trees and rivers and lakes. It is a beautiful contrast. It's so clear.
This is one of the most popular hikes in the Inyo National Forest, and it's easy to see why. It's just under 8 miles round trip, and there's not a ton of elevation gain, but we are at 10,000 feet, so breathing is a little tougher than it normally is, but it is a great bang for your buck hike because you have views every step of the way.
But we made it to Gem Lake, which marks the end of this trail, and I have to say, they properly named this lake. This lake is such a gem. It has some of the clearest, most pristine blue waters I have ever seen, and our plan's just to hang out here for a bit, relax, have a picnic, and Adam's gonna try to fish because we've seen so many fish along the trail.
That was quick. First cast, that's the first time that's ever happened.
And then we're gonna head back because we have a hot date in town tonight.
I still think it's so cool we can shower in our van.
We have freshened up, we even put on jeans, which is a very rare occurrence in these parts, and tonight we have a dinner reservation at Dos Alas CubaRican Café, a Cuban and Puerto Rican spot in Mammoth Lakes with a stunning mountain view.
We're starting out with escabeche, which is a Puerto Rican dish with a pickled base, and you can get different ingredients in there, and I got shrimp and octopus. I've never had this dish, and I've never had octopus either. Let's go with the octopus first. Get a little egg on there. It's a little tangy, but it also has a lot of like a big olive oil taste in there as well. But the octopus is really good. Like I said, never had it before. It's a little chewy, a little firm, but man, I like the flavor a lot.
If Adam's never had octopus, you can basically guarantee I've also never had octopus. Oh, this is out of my comfort zone.
Proud of you, go, go, go.
Oh, the flavor, that's really, really good. Honestly, I don't think I would have known that was fish.
I did not know it was octopus. When you look at it, you can kind of tell, but it does not taste like what I thought octopus would taste like. Adam just used a good word to describe the octopus. It's meaty. That's a good way to describe it. And man, this marinade on it is just so flavorful. It's kind of sour, but in a good way. Oh, it's so good. We are also starting out with tostones, which are fried, smashed green plantains. That sauce tastes so garlicky. Oh, that is delicious.
All right, for my main dish, I got a Cubano sandwich. It has roasted garlic pork, their special guava glazed ham, mustard, pickles, cheese, and then this delicious crispy bread. It's been pressed on the plancha. They loaded this thing up with meat. You get a little bit of sweetness from the guava on the ham, a little tangy and sour from the pickles and the mustard, a little creaminess from the cheese. Oh man, it is a perfect bite.
And I got pinchos, which are marinated meat skewers. And we actually went to Puerto Rico back in, I think, 2015. And one of my favorite memories was getting pinchos from the back of a random truck at the beach. Could have been a risky decision, but it ended up being one of my favorite things that I ate on the island. And I got their combo one, so I think this one's pork and then this one's chicken. That bite just took me back. It tastes exactly how I remember it.
All right, we are wilding out tonight. We're pulling out all the stops. We have toasted coconut bread pudding. Look at that huge mound of toasted coconut on there. Woohoo!
It smells amazing.
Oh, it smells like heaven. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Holy smoke.
Wow.
I love this. Oh my gosh.
I am absolutely stuffed. It hurts to walk right now. This is the problem with wearing jeans. They're just too tight. I gotta like unbutton my button and my belt. Oh.
In desperate need of stretchy pants and sleeping off our feast, we made our way towards Mono Lake for the night, a unique body of water that we'll be exploring a bit closer in the morning. Mono Lake is an ancient saline lake that is over 1 million years old, making it one of the oldest lakes in North America. This lake covers 65 square miles and has no outlet, so as the freshwater evaporates, it leaves a high concentration of salts and minerals that have washed into the lake over time, making it 2.5 times as salty as the ocean. And because of the high concentration of salt, the lake has formed tufa towers, which are calcium carbonate spires and knobs that have formed from the mix of freshwater springs and the alkaline lake water. This is one of those spots that I've seen photos of for years, so it is so cool to finally be here. It looks like another planet out here. We came to the South Tufa viewing area, and one thing I did not expect is that there are tons of them. I thought it was just going to be one little section of them, but they are everywhere. And apparently you can swim in the lake out here, and because it's saltier than the ocean, you have more buoyancy, so you'll float more effortlessly. We actually did this in the Great Salt Lake, and it was a very, very fun experience, but I think we're gonna skip that this time because it is just way too cold out to get in the water. Although I will say, this water is much clearer than I thought it would be. It's actually pretty inviting looking.
As you walk out here, there's several signs along the way that tell you where the water level was at specific years. And in this spot, back in the 40s and 50s and probably thousands of years before that, we would have been several feet underwater. On our way to our next stop, we're gonna take a little detour up to Bridgeport because we're on a mission. Operation Get an Apple Fritter. place is kind of like a Target. You go in for one thing and you leave with a whole armful of stuff. Operation Get an Apple Fritter success. Apple Fritter has been acquired. We went to High Sierra Bakery, and they're known for their giant apple fritters, and that is an accurate statement. Oh man, look at the inside of that thing. What I like about apple fritters, and especially this one, the outside is nice and crunchy. The inside, it's pillowy. It's a little pillowy. It's just soft, and there's so many apples in there and cinnamon. Who knew that I'd have some of the best apple fritters of my life in the Eastern Sierra? Between this place and Eric Schatz, this is like a apple fritter paradise. Apple fritter.
Their sign said they have the best cold brew in town, so we had to get one of those, and I can confirm it is delicious. And then we were about to check out, and I was just peeking around the display case a bit more, and I saw this, and I just knew I had to get it. It is a maple turtle. It is basically donut dough, I believe he said, with this cream in between, and then there's maple on the top. Oh my goodness, I love anything with whipped cream. Oh, this is gonna be a messy turtle. Oh my gosh, that's so good. 1 second, please.
Smell that maple.
Oh wow. Is my face okay?
Mostly, yeah. That's good.
I thought it was going to be like whipped cream, but it's kind of like a cream donut. It's more of a thicker cream. Delicious. We have always been super fascinated with old mining towns. Over the last few years, we have visited quite a few across North America, including in Alaska, Montana, Michigan, Death Valley, and Colorado, including even driving a Jeep off-road to reach a ghost town tucked into the mountains. And California is a gold mine, quite literally, when it comes to ghost towns. The California Gold Rush in 1848 was one of the largest migration events in the United States, with hundreds of thousands of people from across the US and the world flocking to California to hopefully get rich. And one of the state's most famous former mining towns is Bodie.
From 1877 to 1882, Bodie was a bustling mining town with around 8,000 residents, 2,000 buildings, and produced over $38 million in gold and silver. And like most mining towns, after the boom ended, many people left, causing many buildings to fall vacant and others succumbing to fires over the years. Today, Bodie is a state historic park with almost 200 abandoned wooden buildings and is said to be one of the best preserved ghost towns in the US.
This place is huge, and we've only been here about 10 minutes or so, and it is already easily my favorite ghost town that we have ever been to.
So they have this booklet you can buy that tells you about pretty much every building that's left standing here in the town, so you can go on your own self-guided tour. So you can only go inside a few of the buildings, but you can look inside most of them, and they use a process here called arrested decay, where they take some measures to prevent the buildings from decaying even further, but for the most part they try to leave them as untouched as possible.
I just love seeing all of the really old, rickety, broken furniture that's still in the buildings, and feeling the creaky floors and seeing all the wallpaper that's stained and kind of just melting off the walls. It really looks like they just left it and nothing has been done to it.
Besides going on your own self-guided tour, you can also go on a guided tour of the standard stamp mill, which happens 3 times every day.
This was the standard stamp mill. This happened to be a 20 stamp mill. There were about 9 different stamp mills at one time located here in Bodie for the more than 30 mines they had here. Depending on the size of the mine and what the capacity they needed for their mill, they would make them 5 stamps or 20 stamps or 10 stamps. So they had, so this one was a pretty large one for being here in Bodie.
And you may be wondering, what's a stamp mill? It's a type of mill that crushes rock instead of grinding in order to find gold and silver. The standard stamp mill had up to 20 stamps going at one time, which would stamp the rock 100 times a minute.
On the tour, we not only got to see the different components of the stamps, but also inside the mill to see the different rooms and machinery. Plus, learn even more about the process of how the stamps worked.
Okay, they would stamp the rocks in there, would introduce water, and it would become like a muddy slurry. This is how fine the screen is. It's finer than a window screen. I heard it was 40 mesh, so that means there's 40 holes in a square inch of this screen. So that's very fine. These were the amalgamation tables. Mercury then would be spread on with a paintbrush onto these copper plates. As the crushing was going on here, this muddy slurry would come washing down over the mercury, and gold and silver, mercury has an affinity for them. It's like a magnet. It sticks. It picks up with the mercury. So I don't know how long. It depended on probably how rich the ore was. This might have gone on for a day, or it might have been 6 hours or whatever. At some point they determined, okay, that mercury is saturated with gold and silver and it's time to pick it up. They would have some kind of a scraper. They would scrape the mercury off, make it into a ball, about the size of a grapefruit or an orange, something like that. Put it in a bucket, and they would take it over there to the safe, because now that was all your gold and silver.
That was an amazing tour. We lucked out big time and had Norm as our guide. And Norm normally isn't here every single day. He's a member of the Bodie Foundation and lives out in LA, but he happened to be visiting here today with his son and his grandson. So we had the honor of going on the tour with him. And the entire time I was just so mind blown by how much he knows. He was just so knowledgeable about all things Bodie, and it was just so neat to get to go inside the mill and learn about the process, see all the machines. And while walking around Bodie itself is a ton of fun, and there's so much to do here with just the basic entrance fee, it is well worth the extra cost to go on this tour, because I just really felt like it enhanced the whole experience here.
We're back in Bridgeport, and for lunch we're at the Barn, which is a roadside spot with burgers and Mexican food, which is a combo we're all about. So we got a burger and carne asada fries. Those patties are perfectly grilled, nice and cheesy, fresh veggies. That is a solid burger.
That steak is really good. How do you go wrong with melted cheese and sour cream and steak on fries? That is solid.
Since this area is loaded with hot springs, we could not pass up the chance to check out another one. Just outside of Bridgeport is Travertine Hot Springs, and the main hot springs that you see in all the photos has a few different pools, but it was kind of busy, so we're walking around because we hear if you keep going, you can find more secluded ones.
Right, we found one. The naked man that was in here before said we could have it, so it's our turn. Oh, that's not too bad. Feels nice. Definitely not too hot, but it's warm. Make sure I take my phone out. Oh yeah, that's nice.
The other morning when we went to the hot spring, it was, I think, 30-something degrees out. Right now it's 70-something, so this feels really nice because it's not too hot. Perfect. And we have a mountain view. Woohoo!
Not a bad way to end the day. What I love about it here is anywhere you drive, you have epic views just from the road.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every single drive that we've done since being here, we're just like freaking out the entire time. It is just mind-blowing how gorgeous it is here. I'm so in love. I'm in love.
but I don't care who knows it.
This morning we're hiking the Duck Pass and Pika Lake Trail. We were torn between doing the Little Lakes Valley Trail or doing this one, and we just decided why not do both, and I am so glad we made that decision. This view right here is absolutely ridiculous. I am just continually blown away by this area.
Wow. Oh, look at the lake. Look at all those. Rugged, rocky mountains, alpine lakes, and being above the tree line is our favorite scenery in the world. So it's safe to say that the scenery out here in the Eastern Sierra is absolute heaven for us. Every step takes you to a new surprise, whether it's a new set of peaks you couldn't see before, a giant lake that surpasses all expectations, or vibrant and clear blue water. And that is why we love hiking. You never know what is around the corner, but out here, it is guaranteed to be beautiful. Oh, and it's safe to say that Kona loved it too.
We made it back down from the hike and we just rode our bikes about 15 minutes over to Lake George. This lake is part of the Mammoth Lakes Basin, which is an area with 5 lakes you can drive to. And our plan for the rest of the day is to hang out at the lake, swim, fish, read, and just relax.
While the California coast is gorgeous, the Eastern Sierra is officially our favorite part of California, as well as one of our favorite places that we have ever visited in the US. There is just so much to do out here, including some things that we did not include in this video. So to learn about more things to do, places to eat, and where we camped, head on over to our website where we have a big Highway 395 road trip guide. But we're not done in this area quite yet. We still have one final adventure here in the Eastern Sierra, and it should be a pretty epic grand finale.
Magma.
We're surrounded by liquid hot magma.
Walked out of the van to take Kona on a walk, and I felt what I thought was maybe a raindrop. Nope, just bird poop. It's the Havasu birds. They're back. Aw, dang it. Gross. Talk about horrible timing. Had I jumped out a second later, it would not have gotten me.
I'm about to turn this hot spring into a jacuzzi.
Oh my gosh.